Hey everyone, welcome to Freedom Homestead. My name's Jack. On this video, we're going to show you the process of getting one of our sump pumps installed down in our basement. It's a pit pump. It's where they broke through the concrete floor, dug down, put in a pit, put the sump pump in that, and hooked it all up. If you follow our story and our little homestead journey here in this home, we moved here 4 or 5 years ago, and not long after we moved in, we found out that the surrounding area nearby tends to flood during massive amounts of rain. We did not know that the water table would rise high enough to allow water to back up into our floor drains and actually get into our basement. We're talking about water coming in this floor drain here. So what we did is we installed a sump pump. Yes, and when we installed this sump pump, we have had some more flood events, just as much rain, just as much water rising around in the area, but it did its job. It pumped the water before it would come up through the drains, come into the basement, kept the basement dry. Well, if you know what happened to us, 7 or 8 months ago, back in May of 2021, when we had a major catastrophe and our whole basement wall collapsed back here, this one behind me. Look, it's been rebuilt. That looks great. So what we've done in the process of rebuilding everything is we decided to go ahead, since we've got a sump pump in this corner of our basement, we decided on the very far other corner of the basement in the pantry room, there's another sump pump now on this floor, right under our breaker box, near our hot water heater, near our HVAC unit. That's our utility room back there, and also it's a pantry room for Tangy where we put all of our canned goods and storage stuff. So we thought if we've got one on each end of the basement, that's just going to be more peace of mind and keeping this area dry. We'll have them pumping on both ends. We've had it installed now several months. It works great. Both of them work very well. Very pleased with it. And when the gentleman came, I didn't know how to do this. But I watched him, I filmed it, I documented it, I talked to him, I kind of picked his brain, I kind of figured out everything that needs to be done in case I ever need to put one in myself. But I thought I would show you guys in case some of you are needing to do a project similar to this and put some sort of sump pump in your basement or house or anything like that. So let me show you what he did. So the first thing he had to do was jackhammer through our concrete floor. Now, if you've got a jackhammer, that's no big deal, or you could go rent one. But this was probably the scariest thing as far as breaking through the concrete floor. But probably the most fun thing, if I had a jackhammer, I would definitely want to do this myself. But he had a towel wrapped around the actual hammer so it wouldn't get dust all in the air. And you could tell he had been doing this for many, many years. He did a really great job at this. So what they're doing is they're jackhammering through the concrete, and they're going to dig down about 3 feet, and this sits in it, and this is called a pit and a sump pump. So sump pump will go down in that, and it will pump any groundwater that's getting under our foundation up and out of our basement area. So the next step after you bust through the concrete floor, you just have to start digging. Dig down 3 feet. In this case, he was hitting a lot of gravel and rock for quite a while. Lots of 5-gallon buckets. You fill those up, haul those out. That way you're not getting gravel and dirt and mud everywhere and making a mess. So But I really didn't envy just how hard it was watching him do this, because he's kneeled down on his knees, reaching down. You can tell this is a very labor-intensive part of the job. Here he's hitting the red clay mud. That's just sticky, hard mud to dig out. But again, you want to go down 3 feet and then get that pit to set down evenly with the floor. So once he did get the hole dug, then it was time to set the pit down in the hole. He did that. He got it all set even inside the pit, hole, got it leveled out, nice and level. And then he had some river rock. So here you're seeing him kind of fill in all the gaps and spaces with kind of the round river pebble stones. And you can also see down in this pit, there's already water there. So we did hit water when we got down to the 3-foot mark. So here he's just finishing up, putting the rest of the river rock around it. Once he gets all of this rock, he's going to put plastic over top of this river rock and then cover this with a layer of concrete to kind of finish it all out at the very top. And we'll show you that here in just a second.
Couldn't ask for any better than that.
I'm not perfect, is it?
So the next step now is to go outside where the sump pump is going to be pumping out where the plumbing is going to go, and he's putting a hole outside to run the pipes through. So back inside, he's getting the pump ready, and this is a submersible Zoller pump. This is a commercial grade pump, very well built, has a 3-year warranty, and he said if anything went wrong with it in the 3 years, he would be glad to come back and do any repairs or replace it. Then he starts with the plumbing, trying to hook all this up. Also in the plumbing, make sure that he had a check valve installed. So you put a check valve in it, you put the piping in, and here you can see where he's just kind of gluing everything together and piecing it together as it should be. And he's doing all of this before he finishes it out with the concrete. As you can see, the river pebbles still around it. And once he finishes putting this together, he's going to test out this pump a few times to make sure it does work correctly. Here we're testing it out, and you can see where the plumbing runs up the wall and out kind of our baseboard out to where he was drilling a while ago. Once it tests out okay, you made sure you've hooked everything up correctly, you've checked it all out. The final thing is he mixed up some concrete, and now he's pouring the concrete and kind of smoothing everything out. He makes sure that it does taper down in case, this is just near our hot water heater and other units. So if there's any water in the basement, it will drain down to that sump pump and drain down in there as well. So here he's just finishing up, and then once this dries, this will blend in with the rest of our concrete floor, or it could be painted. All right, so here's the finished product for the pit pump, and they've just put new concrete around it to seal up, and it sits level, and it's already kicked on at least once because water is already down. It rained a lot last night, and water's already kind of down in the gravel base under the foundation of the concrete, and so that's going to drain into this, and it's going to pump it up, kicks the float on, and pump it out when it kicks it on. But that is the finished one. So now we have pumps on each end of the basement. And another thing that this is really good to have in this room, this is obviously our utility room and pantry room, but if our condenser pump clogs up and starts overflowing, it's going to flow right into this. Our hot water heater, if it's bust or starts leaking, it's going to flow right into this. So, of course, deep freezer also. But anyway, we've just got everything covered in this room as far as if things begin to leak. And now if the power goes out, we might have to get a generator down here and plug this up. Otherwise, we're good. All right, so I hope all that made sense. We've got 2 sump pumps now in our basement. Great peace of mind for us as we're trying to rebuild and make sure that nothing like this ever happens again. I did add up that by the time that you buy the pump, the plumbing, the piping, the glue, I don't have a jackhammer, so by the time you rent a jackhammer and use it, and then all the labor, you're going to spend probably somewhere between $700 and $1,000, probably, maybe even more than that, depending on where you live and what things cost. But the gentleman that I found, again, this is just another example of the Lord opening doors and kind of helping us out. I contacted this guy, and he didn't charge a whole lot more than the price I just gave you. And so I was pleasantly surprised to be able to just hire him to come do this. He did a great job. We're very pleased with it. They work great. But I did call another company too, just to kind of, check around on prices to make sure. And there was another plumbing company that had done some previous work for us. They gave us a quote which was 3 times that amount. And so we got this done. And I know that I didn't go over meticulously step by step. If you're trying to do this yourself, hopefully this is just kind of the quick version, Cliff Notes version, where you can get a good idea and know exactly at least what's involved if you're going to install a sump pump in a concrete floor and put those pits and kind of how to do it. So thanks for watching, and continue to follow along with us. Remember, hit our subscribe button, like the videos. That always helps with analytics and kind of helps us know how our videos are growing. And we'll catch you on the next video. God bless. See you later.